Hello and welcome everyone to our sort of first episode of this podcast where we discuss comic book movies and stuff. I'm joined by my friend, my dear friend, Stephen Walton.
Oh, you're too kind, Isaac. Thank you for coming along.
Coming along.
I don't even know where I'm going
We
with
mutually
that.
decided to start this podcast, but yes, I'm being thanked for coming along as if I was invited on this path.
Yeah, but you're on my show now.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite lovely how you talked about we at the start, but you hadn't even mentioned me.
Well, it was the big build, wasn't it? To a big, a nice reveal of, who could he be talking about? Oh, it's Stephen Walton.
His dear friend.
His dear
Not
friend.
just his friend.
Not
his
just his friend, his dear friend, Stephen
Note
Walton.
that down.
Yeah. So we're actually so early in the development process of making this that we haven't come up with a name yet. So we'll see. You'll see what it's called.
We'll see if anything comes to our minds during the first episode.
And actually, if we haven't named it by the time we decide to post this online, we're absolutely looking for comments and suggestions on what the name should be.
Definitely.
So they can go to thegunsonator@gmail.com. That's the and then Gunsonator. It's obvious. It's on the name of the channel how to spell it. But what we do know is that today we want to talk about the future of the DC Cinematic Universe, the DCEU, or as they've renamed it in, I think it was just last Comic-Con, they called it the Worlds of DC.
Oh, I didn't even know that, but that's pretty cool.
They didn't really publicise that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, sounds cool.
I mean, I suppose they're sort of going, it makes it look like they're going for sort of the multiverse approach, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think they need to get the universe down before they go for a multiverse.
Yeah, just sort one universe out.
Just saying, but that's just my opinion.
So the next film to come out on their slate is coming out in December of this year, Aquaman.
Aquaman.
What is it?
Aquaman.
What, is it Aquaman or is it Aquaman or is it
Aquaman?
Aquaman. You happy with Aquaman?
Aquaman. We're from New Zealand. Aquaman.
Yeah, okay. I'll settle for Aquaman.
Yeah, bro. Do you want to go to Aquaman?
I feel like some people say... yeah, I feel like that's what people say, though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a tough issue.
I feel like it's not a common enough word in, daily sentence.
No, you don't really... Yeah. But then you say... I guess you say aquatic, don't you? Or do you say... You don't say aquatic.
So you say aquatic, Aquaman.
Yeah, I don't know. Who does know?
Over the weekend, they released essentially the entire movie.
5 minutes trailer.
5.5 minutes. I mean, what are your thoughts, Stephen?
You know what? First up, actually, I thought it was actually pretty good. I have a funny story about Aquaman. The first trailer dropped, right? And it dropped around the same time as Shazam.
Yeah, they both came out at San Diego Comic-Con, was it? Yeah, so they came out at the same time.
So Aquaman and Shazam trailers dropped online, and I watched Shazam, and I went, this is awesome, right? You know that Shazam, it's like, let's go.
Yeah.
But then Aquaman, I was like, oh.
Totally. I feel you on that one. That was me too.
How are we going to hear them talking when they're underwater? Sound doesn't travel underwater.
Yeah.
That's just my scientific view of it. But anyway, I was not very, taken by it. I wasn't hyped for it. I didn't feel good about it. But the second trailer turns that around. The second trailer has some really good moments, that the running over top of the buildings in the probably Greek, I don't know, and the villages of some European country just looks epic. And then there's that epic tracking shot, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is awesome. You know, it's got that awesome feel about it. Yeah,
I certainly think it's a step in the right direction. I'm disappointed that it's 5 minutes long.
Yeah, I feel like you could have packed it down into 2 minutes.
There's only one other film that I've seen at least that's released a sort of 5 minute trailer by Warner Brothers as well. The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they released one that obviously, and that didn't perform very well at the box office.
They did do a Comic-Con trailer for Justice League that was 4.5 minutes.
Oh,
it's a really cool trailer. Okay, if you don't watch the movie but see that trailer, it's awesome. You're this is going to be the greatest film ever. But
was that back when it was still Zack Snyder directing, or did they release that when it was Joss Whedon? No,
it was. I'm pretty sure it was Joss Whedon, because there's actually shots in that trailer that are then used. No, it must be Snyder, I think. Why don't you keep talking? I'm going to find it and I'm going to work it out.
I'm trying to figure out if I remember the trailer. I think that was Whedon, because That was when they'd turned the color palette of the final battle to a red
That's
sky.
exactly what I'm going to check, whether it's blue or red in the battle.
When it was Snyder, who was directing, the end battle was like in the night sky and had that dark color palette, whereas obviously when Whedon came on board.
Yeah,
and I don't know
red one, eh?
And I don't know
it's got
if
the
that
red
was,
one, so
right.
it must be Whedon.
Yeah, and I don't know if that
yes.
was his choice or maybe that was just the studio, said, "Listen, you have to," because it's there's obviously stories all around the place that that Joss Whedon lost battles with Warner Brothers because they obviously wanted to get that film out on time so those executives could earn their bonuses and whatnot.
We don't. Oh, Justice League. That's a big issue. But getting back to what we were talking about, a bit more about Aquaman.
Yes,
I think we need to talk a little bit more.
No.
Sorry, bro. I really like the shot at the end of the trailer, with the Aquaman suit. I think a good payoff. But then again, is that something that you shouldn't show until the movie? If you know what I mean, like, is that something you should keep more under wraps, or what's your kind of view on showing the suit?
See, I have a completely different opinion of that. Do you remember, it was back in like 2014 or 2015, they released that image of Jason Momoa with and he's got the trident, the quindent, and he's got the tattoos and stuff. And it looked like what they were going to do was work his Aquaman costume around like the idea of tattoos, and they were really gonna, really modernize his character, because Arthur Curry's been the butt of so many jokes, so many.
I think of the Big Man joke, the Big Bang Theory, with Raj.
I've not seen that. No,
I've said this before and I'll say it again. Aquaman sucks.
But there's just so, and Adult Swim, when they do their sort of, I don't even know what it's called, Robot Chicken.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When they do, they've made a mockery of him in that as well.
Long story short, Aquaman is just mocked by media.
And now they were doing such a good job of just, that's what sold me on the character. I went, wow, they're really going in a hard to mock direction. Now it just looks like they did so well with that costume and getting everyone on board with it, and now it's like, to me, it's like they're going backwards. But at the same time, I don't know. Coming off of the brighter blue suit for Superman and Justice League, and just sort of that, I suppose, the handbrake turn into a brighter sort of universe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that Aquaman didn't even have a suit in Justice League, did he? As far as I'm aware.
Well, not.
He had a trident, didn't he?
Oh no, he had the he had the gold armor and stuff with that. It was like gold and green scales and stuff. But it was a much more muted color scheme.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google it right now. Aquaman Justice League suit.
Yeah,
because I can't remember one.
Right,
but I remember that
it wasn't so
scene
much
where he comes into the sewer and plants the trident, and it's like, oh yeah, he's Aquaman.
Yeah, it's not so much a suit as
Oh
it's...
yeah, I see it. It's like a scaly sort of,
It's armor as opposed to a suit.
Because it's when they're in the back of the Fox, what is it? The Fox Jet or something? No?
I don't know what it's called.
Oh, it's called...
I really
it's
didn't
written
pay
on
that
a
much
Lego
attention.
Box. It's written on a Lego box that I've seen a million times. But and when they're in the back of that, and Diana uses the whip of truth, and he starts
the whip,
honestly,
the lasso.
The lasso. yeah, the lasso. That's the one. And he starts going on about how
we promise we
we're
know
all
what
gonna
we're
die.
talking about.
Yeah, we do. We try.
So the real point that I'm trying to build towards here is: do you think Aquaman will be a good film or not?
No. Bad.
Neither. I've got
no hope.
over this
I've
universe.
got no hope for it. I'm sorry. I really hope you don't sue me for defamation or whatever, DC. But it just feels like it's being rushed. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like...
Come back here in a couple of months and flame us if we're wrong, by all means.
Absolutely. I'm happy to go in there and be proven wrong.
Yes.
Right?
In fact, I want to, because
I
really want to see... These are some of the greatest comic book characters in history.
Exactly. And I just feel like it's just, looking at the trailer, it just looks like nothing's changed with what we've had in the past. You know what I mean?
I disagree. I think it looks like a lot's changed. I just don't think it's the right things that have changed.
Okay, interesting. I just feel like it's going to be another DC film, another Because, like, Batman vs Superman was okay, but it wasn't what it should have been, right? Like,
It should have had no
Superman
problem. It should have had no problem breaking $1 billion.
should have been the biggest film ever.
Yeah.
And Superman Superman was okay. Wonder Woman, again, it's a good film. I'll watch it. I'll enjoy it. But it's just okay. It's like with these legendary characters, you should be doing better.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
These
you should be
characters
right up there.
These characters that have been around for more than 70 years.
Exactly.
That have built these massive fan bases. The thing with, like, even Batman v Superman, the film is called Batman v Superman, and they have a 5-minute fight.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's at the end of, like, Act 2.
And admittedly, the Ultimate Edition, I think, does a lot of justice.
It does a lot of justice. Nice.
See what I did there?
Yeah. Did you see what you were going to do
no,
there?
I didn't. That was completely not scripted. But it's just like, I feel like with such, what they did so well with, I feel with like with Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy is they took it to a very real place and they didn't try and rush. So in the first film, they didn't have the most legendary villain in, they waited to see what Ra's al Ghul
they had Ra's al Ghul,
who admittedly I didn't know before the film. But then the Joker, they were like, okay, or the way I see it is that they kind of gave it a test run, it worked out well, and then so they stepped it up. Whereas, the DCEU, what's the first film's Man of Steel, which is Superman, which is arguably probably DC's biggest character. They're going for a solo film. And then, is it Batman vs...
Yeah, they waited 3 years. So Man of Steel came out in 2013. Batman v Superman came out in 2016. So in a 3-year period, when Marvel would have released anywhere between, say, 3 to 4 films to build their universe, DC was just silent.
Yeah, exactly. And then they just go straight into Batman vs Superman, which is what Marvel's done to build up to Infinity War, which is all of their heroes coming together in their biggest film. What is it? 19 films have preceded that. They've built up that moment, and then they earn that payoff.
Avengers 4 will be the 21st film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Whereas,
and that's not even taking into account the TV shows and the Netflix series that have all built to that. Even the little tiny 3-minute Marvel one-shots.
Oh yeah,
with Coulson.
All Hail the King.
Yeah.
Classic film.
Yeah. On the topic of All Hail the King, though, just really quickly.
Oh yeah,
isn't it insane that they got Sam Rockwell back to say a couple lines?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. Wait, is he in it?
Yeah, he's in it. He's in the prison.
He in the prison. Okay.
And he's the one who's how come he gets all the attention or whatever?
I've seen it, but I have not seen it in a while.
Right.
Well, how cool is it that they got Ben Kingsley to come in and film a 15-minute video? Honestly, that probably... I love how Marvel at least rewrote one of probably their biggest
Rewrote. Thank you.
Yes, I am studying journalism. But
yeah.
All good. We don't have audio check. We have spell check, but we don't have audio check.
We really do need some autocorrect on talking.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so what I was saying is that I just feel like that to go with your second film in your DC universe, to have your Batman vs Superman, the headline, is just rushing it too much. And maybe maybe to their credit, now that they're doing a single Aquaman film, is starting that off.
And James Wan has said that Aquaman's going to be very, it's not going to reference much of Justice League, and he is the only superhero in it.
And that's the way it should be, and you need to have those films before you have Justice League, which again was, if you thought Batman vs Superman was rushed, think how many Superman and Wonder Woman are the only two to have solo films before Justice League.
Absolutely. I kind of understand the sentiment in terms of Batman, because in fairness, we had just come off of the Nolan trilogy in 2012.
That one is a hard work.
A Batman film in 2016 would have been, because that's the same gap between The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Exactly. 2008 to 2012, 2012 to 2016. So I do, in a way, get that they didn't jump for a Batman solo film first. What my problem is, with Batman v Superman in particular, is just how much content they burn through in terms of comics. So you have The Dark Knight Rises by pitting Batman and Superman against each other. But then you also have and spoiler alert, but you have the death of Superman, and while it's not a comic that's aged well, it was a huge event. One of my teachers from high school still has. He bought 2 versions of the death of Superman. He still has one of them in its seal, and it's the limited edition, black with the red bleeding Superman logo.
That's cool.
But that's how big it was.
Yeah,
it was a huge deal, and they just, it just sort of, it was sort of whatever.
I think what it's interesting talking about comic books here is kind of what leads me into speaking about this, and this is kind of changing the subject. But I feel like what DC struggles with is taking their characters from a comic book world where you can afford to be a little bit more ludicrous and a little bit more out there because it's, I guess, fictional. Whereas in a movie, people go to the movies and they want to see something realistic, and that's what I feel like DC struggled to do, is make these characters or set these characters in a realistic world. They've set it more in a comic booky world, which is not what I think people enjoy. That's kind of how I feel about it. And I think a film that really shows that, and I know it's not part of the DCEU, but it's something like Batman vs. Robin from way back in the 90s.
Batman and Robin.
Oh, Batman and Robin. Sorry, not Batman vs. Robin. They bloody well nearly
I'd pay
versed
money
each
for
other,
that
innit?
film, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Robin gets pissed off because Batman shuts down his engine and doesn't let him do the big jump or whatever. And
that was Chris O'Donnell, eh?
Oh yeah, the man.
What's he moved? He's in NCIS LA now. Yeah,
what's he doing these days?
I feel so bad.
Yeah, I know. But
imagine that as a career. You kick off with Batman and Robin, and then you go to NCIS LA.
Oh, I know, classic. But what that film did, right, is it's meant to be a comic book in pictures, in movie. And it does that very well. It's just that nobody wanted to see that. That's just not believable. That's the thing. And I feel like there's still a little bit of that in the DCEU today. Whereas when you watch flippin' Avengers, I feel like it could happen. I really feel like it could. And I still remember, I think I've told you this one day, when my mum said to me, why do you like watching all these Marvel films? And I said, Mum, it's awesome. It feels so real. And then she said, what's happening? And I was watching the Wakanda scene. And I'm like, this guy with the metal arms picking up a talking raccoon to fire at aliens that are landing on Earth. And I'm like, hang on, that sounds really stupid.
But the fact that it's convinced you.
But it feels real.
Yeah.
It feels real.
And the fact that it's actually convinced you, regardless of whether or not it is realistic.
Exactly.
If it's convinced you that it has, it's done its job.
Exactly. And I feel like Marvel has taken something that does look very unrealistic and made it feel realistic, or set it in a world where I feel like it's realistic.
Which is really funny, because the words that you always hear associated with the DC cinematic universe are these words like grounded, realistic, like it could actually happen, dark and gritty. But and it's just funny that they are, at least from your perspective, they are just fully failing.
Yeah,
to
me, I just don't feel like, you look at the effects in Justice League, right? It just doesn't work.
The visual
to me.
effects in Justice League.
Could
you not just get get the top lip right?
It's just yeah.
Yeah,
that one was bad.
Would it not have been easier for them to have shaved off his mustache and then given money from their budget?
Yeah, to digitally add
it in Mission Impossible.
Who knows? The really scary thing is, I saw a video. Have you heard about deep fakes?
Yeah.
Which is a software, right? And
Yeah.
people were using it for some very naughty purposes. But someone did one with Henry Cavill in Justice League, and it looks better.
Yeah.
Or to me, it looks better than what they did with the actual mustache.
$500 piece of software versus a film that had a $300 million blowout.
It's crazy.
I don't even know if it broke even. That's got to be one of the most expensive films in history, with a $300 million budget blowout. Plus, if you had $150 million for the marketing, like most of these big budget films have, there's $450 million. What did it take back at the box office?
That's what I'm just about to go do. I'm 2 steps ahead of you.
Because that's really
Is it Justice League?
Yeah, Justice League.
That's what we're.
Because that is ridiculous.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you go for it.
So Justice League's worldwide gross was $657 million, just shy of $658 million, but so just over $650 million, and its reported budget is not available.
Oh,
Dun,
yeah.
dun, dun, dun. What's it say on IMDb? IMDb.com.
IMDb.
Normally it
So
tells
just
you
just
what
to
the
clarify,
production budget is.
just to clarify, oh sorry, no, I have nothing to clarify. Actually, I've opened up the wrong link.
Whoops.
But I'm more looking at Guardians of the Galaxy. That had a worldwide international gross of, this is the first film,
Yep.
$773.3 million.
So it made more money than Justice
Made
League.
more money than Justice League.
To
Despite
some-
the- so just to clarify, Marvel scraped the bottom of the barrel with 5 characters who were not household names.
Literally.
And they earned more money off
I was
of that.
about to say that.
Yeah.
That
Then Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg. See, I almost forgot him because
he was
nerfed
very forgettable
They
in Justice
nerfed
League.
him. What an awesome costume he has. I'm just going to scrumple up some tin foil, stick it on me. There we go. I'm Cyborg.
Yeah. It says here on IMDb that the budget of Justice League was $300 million.
Yeah.
So if it's $450 million and it makes
Including marketing,
six, but I guess that's still like
It's a
100 million?
profit, but
why does it take so much money to make movies?
I don't know.
Why does it take $300 million? I feel like
Henry Cavill's top lip.
we spent $299 million on Henry Cavill's top lip and $1 million on the film.
Yeah. On the rest of it,
considering its quality.
That's not. Yeah.
You didn't hear that, DC people.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Or
What are
you
talking
did.
about?
Or you did. We have the right to free speech.
Okay.
Oh.
Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
Is it fourth?
I thought it was the first.
Oh, sorry. First.
I'm not
Amendment.
sure.
I'm not an American history expert.
But we have freedom of speech in this country too.
I think so. I hope so.
Let's just check.
Jacinda, please. Anyway, that's our Prime Minister if you're
Yeah.
international people. But
No,
probably
well, they
read
know.
about her.
She's a celebrity over
I
there
know, she's
nowadays.
awesome.
Yeah.
And now I've completely forgotten what I was going to say, but it was something about Justice League. Oh,
$300 million
I feel like,
budget.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like if you handed me $30 million, right? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
$30 million. I have like nowhere near that level of money.
Yeah.
$30 million is a lot of money. Now that is. Oh, I'm not good at math, but that's a very tiny portion of the overall Justice League budget. I feel like I could
That's
make a real
10%, bro.
a real decent. Oh, is it? I don't know,
30
man.
million out of 300 million.
Yeah, I guess it is. 10% of the budget. I feel like I could go and make a film with that. I'm just.
Yeah, no.
It's just my opinion.
No, that's fair.
A decent film. You could just cut back on
Yeah.
some. Surely you could. $30
Yeah,
million.
like and a perfect example
It's
of
a
that.
lot of money.
The perfect example of that in 1979 when they released the Star Trek the motion picture. Gene Roddenberry, who was the creator of the Star Trek series, directed it. It cost $45 million and it didn't perform great at the box office. And have you seen it?
No.
It's very much a 2001 Space Odyssey wannabe. It has some really, really great shots and stuff, and they've obviously put a lot of production value into it. But when they were making the sequel, they brought on Harv Bennett. He was a new Paramount television producer at the time, and he was made a producer for the sequel to Star Trek: The Motion Picture. He said that he found it really boring, and when one of the execs said, they said, and I'm quoting, pardon the upcoming F-bomb, but I'm quoting him for historical accuracy. When he said, "Can you make it for less than $45 fucking million?" Bennett replied, "Where I come from, I can make 5 movies for that." And so, the budget, true to his word, is $11.2 million. That's
Goodness.
9 million would have been 5. Yeah, 5 films out of the $45 million. But that's close. That's so close. And so it made nearly $100 million at the box office, which is, back in the day, I feel like that was quite a big deal. Even though if a film made $100 million now, it would probably be written off, especially if it was a big tentpole blockbuster like The Wrath of Khan would have been. But yeah, I just I don't know. I think to bring this back into the DC sort of universe, the there's this big focus on scope and how big the battle is, but there's no sort of focus on why do we care about the people in this battle.
Yep.
When Superman died, I didn't care.
It was like,
I literally did not care.
Because they killed him, and then they show that little shot of the dirt rise. You're like, he's alive again.
He's alive again.
What do we do? Now I feel good going to the cinema. I'm going to go off and do whatever else and not think about it.
Yeah. And it's just, anyways, back sort of it.
Do you want to just, why don't we just break this for a second? Do you want some trivia here?
Yeah, totally.
What made more at the domestic box office? Black Panther or Infinity War? So that's in America.
I feel like in terms of the sort of cultural implications that it had, that's got to be Black Panther.
No,
I'm
just asking for an answer.
Black Panther.
Black Panther. It is, because I'm asking the question, you must guess that it's Black Panther.
Black
Panther made more money in the United States than Infinity War did.
Yeah.
By about I can't do math. $22 million.
Yeah.
That
caught me by surprise by the first time I heard it. But I get it. I mean, I mean, there's a lot of cultural significance around Black Panther.
And that's what actually really shocks me. So Infinity War made 33% of its overall gross in America, whereas Black Panther made 52% of its overall gross in America. That's just kind of hit me like a bit of a freight train, to be honest. Yeah. But anyway, getting back to DC movies.
Yeah. So where we come in with Aquaman is this whole idea that, I mean, where do we come in? I'm not sure. I mean, coming off of Justice League, which we've had a big long rant
Justice League,
they're paying no attention essentially to it in Aquaman. I believe that their focus is now to move towards really solo individual stories.
They need to reboot the unit. They just need to chat. Like, I feel like
just
everyone
hold on
is
to
on
Wonder
a negative.
Woman.
They're on a negative down. They're on a negative, like. They're on a
trajectory,
they're on a low angle, and it's going to be Aquaman. Oh, I'm saying Aqua now.
Haha, gotcha.
Aquaman's job to pull it back up.
And it's not going to.
I'm sorry, DC. You've made so many films that didn't impress me that I can't go into Aquaman with this one might be the one that's going to be really good. Yeah. I'm going in with,
I don't have high hopes.
I'm probably going to be let down again, but as I say,
Jason Momoa
is
dope.
Wrong. He is pretty cool.
Yeah.
He is pretty cool.
But he can't save a franchise if the script is horrible.
He's pretty like, I am straight, but he is like a pretty hot guy.
Yeah.
Like good, like muscle, something I'm jealous of.
Yeah, no, fair call.
I could go to the gym, but
I'd go for him. He's just the. Oh.
He is pretty he's just buff. That's cool. I rate that.
And immediately following Aquaman, which we've now decided isn't going to be great, Shazam.
I'm looking forward to Shazam, actually.
I'm not.
I don't know much about him. I don't know much about Shazam at all. Apparently he's a rip-off of... No, Marvel ripped him off originally or something. But he's Shazam now. Oh, yeah, I'll talk into the microphone.
Yeah. Don't talk away from the microphone.
Sorry. But what I wanted to say about Shazam is, that moment in the trailer. Shazam!
Yeah, when Billy Batson shouts, Shazam!
And he's Shazam, and it's got the cool Kendrick Lamar music, and it's like, it's awesome. It's epic.
Did you hear?
But I feel like it's separate. I feel like because it's not a character that I know, that's the only thing that's keeping me out for it. Whereas Aquaman, as you say, in other media has always been put down as the low guy. Nobody likes him.
So not to keep bringing this back to the Marvel Universe, do you think that's why they succeed? Like you say, Shazam is a character that... Not really, that doesn't, you don't hold his sort of mythology and go, oh my goodness, if they change, his last name, I'm gonna riot.
You feel like you're going in with more of an open mind, more with less preconceptions.
I wonder if that's a method that's helped Marvel succeed with their universe. Because
who knew the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Exactly.
Didn't really know Ant-Man.
Who was really worried about Captain America? I mean, I suppose a lot of people were. Who cares? There's so many characters. I feel like, I'm not sure, I'm not, well versed in the comics, but I feel like something like the Winter Soldier, where, obviously Bucky Barnes is the Winter Soldier, but where you have Black Widow and Captain America teaming up and being really, really, sort of close friends who, who take on S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's actually Hydra. I feel like something like that's not really in the comics.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing is that these characters, their mythology is not held so close to people's hearts that you can actually get away with changing up bits and pieces, whereas what DC's probably not getting. The thing about Man of Steel is that the Fortress of Solitude is just this, it's just a spaceship, and Jonathan Kent dies a little bit differently than he has in previous iterations. Like so much stuff is just different. Superman doesn't get his suit from Martha. Oh, God,
You're right there?
Yeah,
You're okay?
I need to pull up my nose.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they tried to change so much stuff for Man of Steel, and I don't think that they get that they aren't in a position to do that.
Yeah. That's because I guess more people know the origins of Superman and Superman's, I guess. Yeah, because that's that's what I'm saying about Marvel is that, nobody knew the Guardians, nobody knew, Ant-Man I didn't really know. And even to some degree Iron Man, I only knew from, Iron Man wasn't the flagship of Marvel. I think Marvel's main person was definitely Spider-Man. And they did obviously the Raimi trilogy, but if you think Marvel in terms of comic books, you think of Spider-Man,
Fantastic Four, the X-Men.
Four, yeah, they're more headline than Iron Man, Captain America. But
they were. They
were. Yeah, definitely. They were, yeah, when it's making $2 billion at the box office.
Yeah.
But now, so I guess it did probably give them that freedom to play a bit more and mold those characters around an overarching storyline, which DC's tried to do, but like you say, they've altered so much with Superman. It's people are upset and people don't like it. But yeah.
So, I guess we probably have a mixed sort of position on Shazam, where you're really looking forward to it. I'm
DC. I've said some bad things about you over the last
literal
half hour.
minutes ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're looking at those bad things, don't look at the bad thing. Look at the good thing. I'm looking forward to Shazam. I'm gonna buy a ticket to go see it, so I'm gonna contribute to the box office of it. And I'm really looking forward to it, and I really hope to be impressed by it. And if you're listening as well, please release another trailer. That would be much appreciated. I want to see some more Shazam.
Yeah, totally. Obviously, after that, on their slate, they've got Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they started filming, it must be a couple months ago now.
I'm an expert.
Yeah, it's
not.
Totally.
Is it set in 1984, just by any chance?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they might need to, when when they open the film with like a little time setter. I reckon they should just go 1984 just to clarify, because I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Imagine if they set it in 1983, but just called it 1984, just for the lols.
Yeah.
Because it's something so odd that would attract so much attention.
Yeah.
Because people would write articles. Why is Superman set in, why is Wonder Woman set in 1983, which generates more interest?
Yeah.
Marketing strategy.
You know what?
Hire me.
That was...
We've gone from hating on DC to give me a job.
Yeah. Give me a job. Hey, Warner Brothers, come out. Joker movie. Joaquin Phoenix looks literally insane. I thought that film was never going to happen.
Yeah, I'm surprised it is happening.
We heard so much about Marvel's, DC's moving towards this, and that. Do you know, they've announced so many films. They've announced Bird of Prey. They've announced Matt Reeves directing The Batman, Justice League Part 2, lol. There's just so many projects that DC's announced that they can't possibly all come to fruition. And I thought that this was just going to be one of them.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm saying, I feel like, okay, I'm gonna admit something really bad here.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Phoenix Joker photos before right now.
Really?
I'm literally just looking.
Okay, first impressions. Let's go.
First impression, very comic book ish. Reminds me more of Jack Nicholson than the Joker. So I'm interested, to see the direction of it.
Jack Nicholson than the Joker. You mean Jack Nicholson as opposed to Heath Ledger or something?
Yeah, is that
right.
what I say?
You said it reminds me more of Jack Nicholson than the Joker. obviously talking about Jack Nicholson playing the Joker.
That shows you how good Heath Ledger was. I just refer to him as the Joker. He's the actual Joker.
I totally agree.
And I feel like that's always going to be a thing that you're going to run into with making any Joker movie.
Yeah.
Is that, especially with like Suicide Squad, is they had to follow Heath Ledger, who's you cannot take away from that performance.
No,
man. That's insane.
Yeah.
But it looks good. You know what? I like it. I really do. It looks scary. Like, I would just be freaked out if I saw that in an alleyway. I would just start screaming, man. Oh my god. How do you say his name?
I think it's Joaquin.
Joaquin. Okay, we'll just stick with Joaquin.
Joaquin Phoenix.
He must have been asked that question so many times in his life.
I personally believe that he is one of the best actors working these days.
Really?
In terms of, he's obviously not the most highly paid. There's, you've got your RDJs and your Tom Cruises and
yeah, he's a good actor.
And your Jennifer Lawrences. But he does a really good job. One of the best, not the best, but one of the films that stuck with me for years is Walk the Line, when he plays Johnny Cash. And he does this such a fantastic job. You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
And basically, all the praise that's going towards Rami Malek about...
isn't it? Oh, sorry. Isn't it Rami?
Is it Rami Malek?
I don't know.
But I love your work. All the praise that's sort of going towards him about the upcoming Bohemian Rhapsody film.
Is this the real life?
Okay.
Is this
a lot of the praise that's going towards him, despite having not seen his performance yet, is what he pulled off is what Joaquin Phoenix pulled off in terms of replicating. I don't even know if replicating is,
but yeah, because and that's what I kind of see where you're coming from, especially about Rami Malek in Bohemian Rhapsody, is he looks like Freddie to me. Is the way he moves, the way he acts, the way he does things, even the way he says things looks like Rami Malek. And even more so, I don't know who's playing Brian May, but I honestly think the person playing Brian May has gone back in time and
got to know the guy,
younger Brian May, and brought him to the future, and just I don't know where I'm going with that, but like, he just feels like Brian May, and that's what gets me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point being is
that Joaquin Phoenix did
do that.
He did that for Johnny Cash.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, okay, very well.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. And this obviously isn't a biopic, so he's not got someone to replicate. But I think that what he does really well is understand what he's been given, understand what he's supposed to get to, and the middle ground between that, he just works to all of his strengths, and he does it so well. Which is why I'm really excited. Who's directing? Todd Phillips is directing the Joker movie.
Is he? I don't know.
So I think...
Didn't he direct The Hangover? Why do I think of Todd Phillips with The Hangover?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
no, The Hangover Part 3.
Look at my movie knowledge.
Wow, nice.
What's the movie called?
I don't know. It's called the Joker movie at the moment. But no, it's going to be...
on IMDb?
Joker. There we go.
Is it?
Never mind. He's a producer.
Is it called Joker?
That's probably just what they went with.
Oh,
directed by Todd Phillips. I reckon it's going to be good.
Oh,
Robert De Niro's in it? I had no clue that Robert De Niro was going to be in the Joker film.
Plot
Zazie
kept under
Beetz.
wraps. Film will centre on how the popular comic book villain known as the Joker came to be. Todd Phillips.
Yeah, no, I reckon it's going to be good. I had no clue that he'd done The Hangover. So
the guy that did The Hangover is doing the Joker movie.
Yeah, but it'd be good.
Oh yeah, there's an interesting photo that they've got of Joaquin Phoenix with like no makeup on. Hey, what? They've already got a flippin' poster.
Wait, where?
There's a poster.
Whereabouts?
There's a teaser poster. It's on IMDb. Look.
And there.
It's not much, but it's still a. Oh, we're nearly dropping it and nearly crushing it.
Is that official?
Well, it's on IMDb.
Does that mean it's official? That means nothing. I'm looking here at their videos.
I hit my microphone. I hope that didn't break anyone's ears. Look at these photos. Oh, there's a big guy with a red nose. He looks scary. Oh, he looks like he's lost control.
Yeah.
He looks like what would happen if, like, something really, really, really bad happened to me and then I just wanted to scare the crap out of everyone.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, he's on a subway. That's scary.
Wow. You're having... Here we go. First impressions, team.
Oh.
So apparently Brett Cullen, who I don't know, the more important thing is that he's playing Thomas Wayne. So what are we going to see in...
Are we going to see Batfleck?
Oh, no, he's not in... He's not, apparently. Not. He might cameo. But that's actually another important thing to talk about for the future of the DCEU. Are Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill out? Ben Affleck is just perpetually either in or out. Like, his contract, I feel like, is just so consistently in the middle ground between, but he's either in the DC or the worlds of DC or he's not.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Have they announced anything officially about whether or not Henry Cavill is in or out?
Not officially.
Yeah.
Not officially. I feel like we'd be doing pretty badly if it had been announced officially and we didn't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm so sure, like, because then...
Joker's now less than a year away because it's going to be released on the 4th of October. And it's currently the 8th of October when we're recording this.
Oh, wow.
Which hopefully you don't post it in, like, February.
No.
And people will be like, oh,
I was thinking about posting it tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce.
Yeah. Awesome sauce. Haha. I've been saying that.
Is
I've
that
been
what
saying
you
that.
say?
That's what I say.
Who
I say
says
awesome
that?
sauce.
Oh, okay.
And I've got you to say it. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm winning.
You've got one.
I'm winning. Yeah. I don't know. Because Henry Cavill is such an awesome sort of... He's a fantastic fit for the role. He looks the part. He's I see him and I go, yep. Like, I'd follow, like, you're Superman.
Yeah, he fits the role. He's a good Superman.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel like you can't recast Henry Cavill.
No, you can't.
In my opinion.
Unless you're going to reboot the universe.
If he leaves the DCEU and you want to keep the same universe, you have to kill Superman.
And how do you do that without him? Because you'd have to get him back for at least one more movie to kill him.
I don't know. How have other people done it? Superman's gone on a sabbatical. Superman went into hiding and nobody's ever seen him.
Superman went into exile. Actually, they could get away with that.
They could just start with the news coverage.
Aquaman.
Or Aquaman in credit scene, just news coverage. Superman is gone. Nobody knows where he's gone.
Yeah.
Superman faded away in the Thanos snap.
Yeah. What you could do is you could just do one shot of a guy floating in space by the sun and just from the back and just have his cape flowing.
Do you reckon there would be like, oh, no, yeah, I guess, yeah, he wouldn't have any like rights to him or anything, I guess. No. So yeah, they could do that and then just be like, yeah, he flew too close to the sun.
My too close to the sun. You know he gets powered up by the sun, hey?
Oh god.
You know, that's like saying,
hey, I watched the movies and enjoyed
my
them.
phone battery's at 100%. It's died.
No.
The problem with this is that Warner Brothers and Henry Cavill haven't cleared it up. So, in a statement, they said, while no decisions have been made regarding any upcoming Superman films, we've always had great respect for and a great relationship with Henry Cavill, and that remains unchanged.
PR.
That was what a spokesperson... Exactly.
PR.
Yeah. That was that. It just screams like...
PR.
Yeah. Because there's no clarity in that. Why is it so hard if he's not out to just say, these are baseless
These are
rumors.
false accusations.
Yeah. This
and
is
we
fake
categorically
news.
deny them.
Yes, it's not that hard.
So they didn't say that.
So they didn't say that, which obviously means...
Obviously it's a strong word, Isaac. It's a strong word. What are you implying?
What are they implying by saying, while no decisions have been made, we have great respect for and a great relationship with Henry Cavill, and that remains unchanged?
Well, DC, if you want to let Isaac Gunson know what's happening, email him at thegunsonator@gmail.com.
You got it.
I did get it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, but that's the email. It's spelt the same way it is on the YouTube channel. We'd love to hear from you. Please don't also send papers of you taking me to court, because I don't want that.
Yeah. No,
I said
ideally
nice
not.
things about Shazam.
Yeah. Freedom of speech and all
I
that
agree.
good stuff.
I agree that it's a weird thing for them to say in a statement. It's like PR people speak another language. It's like, they just don't write what they're thinking. They don't write what we want to hear. And that's what I don't like.
And then that was furthered by when Henry Cavill's manager, Danny, I'll go with Danny Garcia, tweeted, "Be peaceful. The cape is still in his closet at Warner Brother Pictures, has been and continues to be our partners as they evolve the DC universe. Anticipate a Warner Brothers statement later today." And obviously that's when that statement came out.
Interesting. It's interesting.
The cape is still in his closet. That's interesting wording.
Yeah, it's interesting that I think that both parties actually addressed the rumor.
But not outright denied it.
Yeah, but like both of them actually addressed it. What's more interesting is Henry Cavill doesn't have a Twitter.
No, but he has an Instagram, and he did a weird video. He did a weird video of him lifting. Oh, I've just got to show you.
Okay,
He just does this weird thing. I mean, it's whatever. But he actually I can't find it. But he like lifts the Superman figure up in front of his face, and I'm pretty sure there's some Superman music going on in the background. But it's just like, and that was on the day that the rumors were going around, and I just thought, can someone just say? Can someone just come out and say, I'm in or I'm out? Like, is it really that hard?
Let's go onto Instagram. Turn on Henry. Oh.
And he just lifts this action figure up in front of his face. And then there were reports of that Ben Affleck will follow Henry Cavill out.
Yeah, I feel like if Henry Cavill went, then Batfleck would go too.
Yeah.
Which video is it? There's a lot of it. Is it the new Boss Eyewear Fall Winter 18 collection has arrived?
No, it's a video.
That is a video.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, is it the one where he's got a Krypton t-shirt?
Yeah,
Today was
yeah.
exciting. Hashtag Superman. Okay. Oh, is it bad if the people can hear my audio?
It'll sound crunchier. Oh, wow, that does not at all sound like Superman music. I must have heard a different version.
Oh, he's got a Superman figure, though.
Yeah.
That's from the Titan Hero series, available at Toy World.
Nice wee plug.
Just a
nice
plug.
wee plug for your...
Yeah. It's My Other Life, but no, they are good figures. That is a very weird video. I agree. What's that music? I know that music from somewhere. Dun 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 dun. That was cool.
That was really cool.
We've peaked.
Yeah, that's it. First episode of the podcast. We've peaked. It's all downhill from here.
We've discussed quite a lot.
We have.
We've even
But we haven't.
Oh, but we haven't.
Just in terms of, if, like you said, if Henry Cavill leaves the worlds of DC, they need to kill him. They can't recast him.
Oh, I agree.
If Ben Affleck leaves, is it worth having a universe anymore? Because that's
your two biggest characters gone. And I feel like recasting them is
Ben Affleck
bad.
was objectively the best part of Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
He did such a good Batman, and I loved it.
Ben Affleck and any scene with Ben Affleck and the guy that plays Jeremy Irons,
who plays Alfred.
Oh, they're amazing.
They're an amazing pairing.
Perfect. And I feel like even looking in the Marvel universe, which we compare it to a lot, the only major recasting they've done there is
Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner, yep, and Rhodey from the first Iron Man.
Yeah.
And
Rhodey is not Rhodey in the Marvel universe is not Batman and Superman to the DC.
No, of course not. And I feel like even Marvel, I feel like the attitude they have is they still look down on that.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people still go like, whoa, at least that was the only little thing that's happened in the Marvel universe. Like, okay, you can, like, feeling like that's just the level of what you can get away with. And if the DC worlds of DC wants to continue, then it sounds like if these rumors are true, they're going to have to recast their two biggest characters, which I don't think they can survive that.
No, they can't.
think-
And that's a stage at which you need to. I mean, yes, they should reboot the universe, but I'd love them to find a way to take Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot with them, because they're, they're
We
great.
love Jason Momoa.
Yeah, we do.
We do. Good boy.
So
So,
we've done a lot of trash talking about DC. We've done a lot of destructive criticism.
I'm sorry, DC.
Yeah, we're really sorry.
apologise.
I know you're trying your hardest. Maybe.
My year 6 teacher used to tell me, you don't feed back to people, you feed forward so they can move on.
So
and
let's
get better.
feed forward and
Feed
say,
forward.
what do we want to see that we think would help this Worlds of DC become a franchise that can actually compete with the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Their films to be more Marvel-less.
I suppose, yeah.
No, on a serious note, I think what I want to see personally from me is a film that's set more realistically, shot more realistically, taken a more dark and just human feel of it. And I feel like that's exactly what the Dark Knight trilogy had. So if you want to make a good Batman film, go and ask Christopher Nolan, because he knows how to do it. He's done it 3 times. And that's what will make you money. That's what will earn. That's what will get me going to the cinema 5 times to watch it.
Yeah, good film. For me, I really my belief is that if Justice League hadn't been such a handbrake turn into this brighter, more marvelous universe, I really would have loved it. Because you'd had Man of Steel, you'd had Batman v Superman, and to extents, both of those films were either they caused division among audiences, and I think that if they'd just gone for it with Justice League, it's something different, and there are so many superhero films coming out. In the 1990s, 4 superhero movies came out. They're all about Batman.
Go Batman.
Or not the 1990s, but there's a solid period of time where only 4, over a couple of years.
There was not many superhero films.
No.
Whereas we're getting 3 Marvel
Three
films
Marvel
a year.
films a year. We're getting maybe 1 or 2 DC a year. We're getting to that point where it was it between 2014 and 2020, something like 36 superhero films coming out.
Gee whiz.
In the same time frame in the 90s where 2 would come out.
Yeah,
We're getting to this point where we're going to get so saturated with superhero films that I think that if DC had really pursued that dark, gritty, realistic tone, it would have been beneficial to the superhero movie industry as a whole because it was something different.
I agree.
And I'm not asking for Superman and Batman to be killers, but as you said, Christopher Nolan pulled off a Dark Knight, trilogy where Batman wasn't a killer, but it was dark, gritty, and realistic. And even then, I'm not asking for Superman to be dark.
We're just asking for something that feels grounded in reality.
Yeah.
I feel like watching Batman, like Batman Begins or The Dark Knight,
Yeah.
that it could happen.
Yeah.
If someone with enough guts and enough planning, and enough money, developed all of these things, and then someone, like, I love the line in The Dark Knight where the Joker's burning all the cash and he's like to the guy, look at what I did to the city with a couple of barrels of gas and a handgun or something, or something, and that's when it kind of hits you that all the Joker has done is simple things. He's not trying to summon an alien from an alien spaceship that's crashed that then wreaks havoc on the city.
At
with,
Steppenwolf.
Or Steppenwolf, who comes out of nowhere and has a really weird accent. It's a simple philosophy that the Joker just wants to cause chaos.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that these
that's
DC
what made
films,
him so good.
These DC films have got to the point where the final battle is, the thing that the entire film builds towards is just this hulking, giant, grey CGI villain.
Exactly.
And it's nothing that Hollywood isn't already doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to see these superhero films take on more personal stakes rather than oh my goodness, the whole world needs to be safe.
Yeah, exactly. More, and that's more human,
Yeah,
humanized.
yeah.
That's a good way to put it, I think.
Yeah, totally. So there you go, DC. That's what you need to do. Humanize your films.
That's our 10 cents worth.
Our 10 cents. I still haven't figured out what we should call this podcast.
Neither have I. I've kind of been thinking about it, but like, I've got no idea. And then I've got no idea what I want to call my political website either.
Yeah, so Stephen wants to start a website about American politics, like sort of like an outside look into it.
Into American politics.
But he's struggling to find a name.
But,
so
and then probably by next week I probably won't care.
yeah, well that's what we said. We were like by Wednesday.
No, I'm gonna stick with this one.
But you know what? Because we're posting this video tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is Tuesday, October the 9th. We need a name. But more importantly, with Tuesday, October the 9th, it's actually Stephen's birthday.
Oh, really?
And so I would really love it if everyone would be able to just, let him, ask him to have a fantastic birthday. Wish him very well. How old are you turning, Stephen?
I'm turning 19, and I feel like my present is going to be being sued by DC.
Yeah.
Wake up in the morning, got a court summons.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, but no.
Fingers crossed.
Hey, Stephen.
Hello.
All the very best for your next orbit of the sun.
Oh, thank you, Isaac. That's very kind of you.
It has been a pleasure to be part of much of the last one.
Oh.
And I look forward to being part of many more.
I thought you were going to say it's been a pleasure to do this podcast, which is why I said it has.
Which is why
I thought that's where you're going with it, but that's okay.
Yes, I'm sure you find it a pleasure to have been a part of your last orbit of the sun.
It has been a pretty good last orbit, to be honest. But definitely this podcast has been a very, very enjoyable experience. I feel like we've covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground in...
It's awesome.
That's nearly an hour.
Nearly an hour.
No, should be right.
We did like spend 2 minutes at the start, like talking about...
Oh, we did.
So if you cut off...
So
it's going to be about 55 minutes.
I don't know if I'll cut that.
Maybe we'll see. That could just be our intro.
Yeah.
I wonder what the first thing you said was.
What were you saying? We were talking about the levels or something. Yeah, anyways.
Should we just call the the levels?
Yeah, the levels. So, if we haven't come up with a name for it by tomorrow, let us know in the comment section below what it should be. If we have and you don't like it, let us know what you think. A name that you think would be better.
With coming up with names.
Do us a little bit of a favour and Google it first to make sure it's not already taken.
Yeah.
But other than that, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
So I don't know if we're going to do sort of a weekly thing. We are still very much in the planning phase.
We're just gonna try and do what we can do. Because how are we going to do it when you're back into Pookie?
Yeah. When I'm on holiday, that's going to be a real hassle.
We'll just have to battle away.
Because that'll be 3 months.
We'll have to do it over Messenger or something.
Yeah,
over
I'll download Burley.
Discord.
Yeah, I'll download Burley.
Discord or Skype or something. I could get unlimited minutes or something. I could do it over.
Yeah, I'm sure I must have minutes that have stacked up.
Yeah,
I get 300 a month, and honestly, I don't use them.
I used so many during news weeks.
Oh, yes, I
blew a $70 phone bill.
Wowzers!
Because when you run out of minutes, it doesn't text you and tell you that you've run out of minutes. So I just kept ringing people. Oh, it was not good. Anyway, I think you're in charge here, so you can start. Are we going to sign off?
Oh, of course. This channel's called The Gunsonator.
You're the captain now.
I'm the Gunsonator.
Look at me.
Yes. So thank you for joining us. If you have topics about superhero films that you'd like us to discuss, let us know. Also, we're going to be doing another podcast which takes a deep dive into sort of more, I don't know,
just issues that are just on our minds, on your minds, or on New Zealand media's minds.
Yeah.
Or even international media's minds.
And the global eye. Yeah.
And issues that are deep and issues that are matter, I think.
Yeah.
Is a good way to put it.
Absolutely. And so feel free to tune into that as well. And other than that, I'll be sort of doing maybe some video essays on this channel, about sort of a halfway between both of these podcasts in terms of what sort of content will be coming out. Can't promise a regular basis for that. It'll be more of a quality over quantity kind of thing. So thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed listening to our voices for, crikey, that's just ticked over an hour.
Yeah. It's been good.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much. Catch you later.